What is up, guys? Luis here, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the stimulus check. I know some of you have gotten it, some of you haven't, some of you might not be qualified for it, and if you're not, good for you, you're making enough money. This video is going to be a little bit different from my other videos. I have been making a lot of videos on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm trying to get away from that because that wasn't the intention for this channel. It kind of drifted into that, which I'm not mad about at all. And the whole reason behind the channel was just to talk about all things finance, not just drop shipping. And I get it, it's a little bit more of a popular topic, so I kind of went with that. But again, I'm going to try to get back into finance videos and just things like that I like to talk about in general, which I understand might get a little bit less views, but it's just something I'm going to enjoy making more and probably going to be more sustainable because there's only so much you can talk about with Facebook dropshipping. I know some people are dedicating entire channels to it, and there's only so much you can say. So, like I said, today's video, we're going to be talking about the stimulus checks. They were $1,400 this time around. I know a lot of them went out like 2 weeks ago, so if you've already spent it, this video might not be for you. If you haven't, please stick around. We're going to be going over 3 different investment ideas that you guys could do with your stimulus check. But obviously, before you start investing your stimulus check, you want to make sure that you use it for, I guess, what it's for, which is, you know, making sure that your rent is paid, that you have food on the table, and that you have clothes on your back, which are like the three essentials for living, essentially. And since we're on the topic of investing, if you had invested your original $1,200 stimulus check that was, I think, went out last April, almost a year ago, crazy to think about. I mean, you could have 2x, 3x, 4x'd it literally by throwing a dart at the stock market, which is just one of the investments I'm going to talk about. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, that might still be possible, that might not be, but again, we're going to go over different ideas. But the point was, if you had invested it, it would be worth a lot more than that original $1,200 is worth. $1,400 only goes so far, and I'm sure you guys want to double, triple, quadruple it, right? So first investment that I think a lot of people should use this stimulus check for is going to be, actually, as cliche as it sounds, a lot of people say, is just invest in yourself. And by that, I mean you can buy a book, you can buy a course online. Not all courses are scams. I've definitely bought a few, and I definitely think that there's value in a lot of courses out there, and they just have a bad rap for, like, you know, all these gurus and stuff out there. But you just got to make sure you do your due diligence on said course and read some reviews. But again, not all courses are scams, so don't feel that way. And as far as investing in yourself, you could also start a small business, anything that you've wanted to try. Again, this is $1,200 you may or may not have needed. If you didn't need it, then yeah, go ahead and take some risk with it and invest in yourself. So the second investment we're going to talk about is the stock market. And the stock market's obviously been crazy the last year. You could have thrown a dart, hit any stock, and double, triple, quadruple your money. And with the stock market, you have a lot of freedom. You can either choose to invest in companies that you believe in. So if you're like into tech, you can, invest in all the big guys like Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, all that. Your money's going to be semi stable for the most part, especially with your Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft. So a lot of people are considering that just like their cash now. They put it in there because it's so stable that no, Facebook and Microsoft, all those big companies ain't going anywhere. Or you can get a little bit more risky and pick some companies that might blow up, might not. For example, your Teslas, your Neos, your Lucid Motors, all those stuff that's kind of going crazy. You can literally pick anything you can do. And you could also do recovery stocks, which as far as like airlines and cruise ships, things like that, things of that nature, things that are going to come back after the whole pandemic is over. But yeah, I mean, really, it's up to you. And if you really don't like to pick individual stocks, a lot of people don't, because it is kind of stressful, and you feel like it's your fault when something goes wrong. And you could just throw your money into a S&P 500 ETF. There's a few of them out there. Just make sure you do your research. And that essentially is you buying like a little bit of the top 500 companies that are currently trading. So, I mean, there's a lot less risk, but also less, gain. You're probably not going to see 2 or 3 X's. And then long term, if you just let it ride, you're going to make money. Very, very unlikely you lose money investing in an ETF. I mean, maybe right now with this market, because we don't know. Everything is said to be a bubble and it's just ready to. And the third investment, which I know a lot of people aren't fans of, a lot of people are, it's kind of up to you, are cryptos. So, I mean, there's a whole Twitter account dedicated to had you invested that original $1,200 into Bitcoin, what it would be worth today. And right now, if you had actually, I have it right here, if you had invested that $1,200 originally, it would now be worth $10,238. That's kind of crazy. That's like what, over 8xing your money? I think that's the right math. But yeah, I mean, we don't know where crypto's going. Everybody says, some people say it's going up, some people say it's going down, but again, it's a lot higher of a risk if you put your money in this, but it might be a bigger return. You never know. And obviously, if you had invested that $1,200, it would be like a good amount of money at this point. And if you really want to gamble, you can get into altcoins, and those things are like 50xing and 100xing. I actually just bought like $1,000 worth of SafeMoon, which if you haven't heard of it, like I'll probably make a video on it later. It's just like, the whole name behind it is SafeMoon because it's safe and it's going to the moon, which it really isn't. It's a total gamble. But I mean, if it 10, 50x's and I put in $1,000, that $1,000 could essentially be, you know, 50 grand to 100 grand. But I'm prepared to lose it. It's just $1,000. I mean, it's not just $1,000. It's $1,000. But I'm totally prepared to lose it. So I understand that this investment can go to zero. More of a gamble, can go down to zero. But I mean, hey, why not just gamble it? See what happens. I mean, I'm already up right now like 200%. So right now it's already worth like $2,000, which is kind of crazy. But I'm just gonna let it ride, see what happens. Not too worried about it. But yeah, there's a ton of videos already out there on it if you guys want to look it up and kind of watch a video before I get a video out there. So I was gonna do 3, but I mean, since I'm already here, let's just talk about real estate. I mean, obviously that $1,400 is not enough to get into a house or anything, unless you can use a VA loan or something with zero money down. That could be the start of your down payment savings account. You could do that. It's definitely right now, real estate's kind of on fire. Like, you know, it's kind of crazy. Interest rates are super low, but supply is also really low. So prices are kind of going up and up and up. Where I'm at, there's offers 20, 30K over asking. And like some people back home, I'm from California, like 100 grand over asking price, like in certain, you know, in those more expensive markets. And that's just kind of crazy. Like, what? Like, it's ridiculous. But with that being said, guys, just remember that with any investment comes some sort of risk. Nothing is 100% safe. So be prepared to lose it all, or not really, depending on what investment you put it in, but just be prepared for it to go down and don't freak out. I've definitely lost money in a lot of investments. March of last year, I was trying to short the market, and you know, we all know that it didn't go down like we thought, even though unemployment rates were through the roof. The world was freaking out. I don't know how, but we all know what happened last year. So yeah, I ended up losing some money on that investment, which again, it's not the end of the world. It happens. It is what it is. You know, you learn and you move on. So just make sure you guys are doing your own research. Don't rely on anything that you're seeing on YouTube. If you do, again, just make sure that you're following up with it on your own and doing your own research, because I have definitely been guilty of just watching a video and then just going and literally I have 2 monitors open and I'm just copying some random YouTubers like trades, and it's not the smartest thing to do. You want to make sure that you're researching on your own, because ultimately it's going to be your fault and it's your money that you're putting on the line. So with that being said, guys, you guys already know, quit the slack and make it happen. If you guys have any questions on anything, really, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. If you guys have any ideas on videos that I could do, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. I feel like I'm running out of ideas, and then it's like I feel like that's also just an excuse, because you know, I'm just still new to this. It's been like 3 months, and I mean, I'm having a good time. I need to stick to my schedule. I know I haven't been posting every Monday and Wednesday like I said, but it's just I never realized how much work these YouTubers do. It's like a lot of editing and, like, you know, the shooting. You gotta talk into the camera, and this is like the 4th time that I've shot this part of the video. Is like the 4th time that I freaking have shot it, because I just keep stuttering. And obviously sometimes you guys can see how jaggedy the video is. That's definitely just because I'm still terrible at talking into a camera, but we're gonna get better, and that's really all I can really ask for. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.